What's up guys, back again with another video in the Node.js and Express series. This time I'm going to show you how to add games to your website.
What she got on, got her looking like a star. Made me wonder what it look like when it's off. Got me looking at your body, bet it's off. Baby, I just wanna know.
Okay guys, so now that we actually know how to work with APIs and stuff like that, we can move on to working with our actual website and furthering its design and all that fun stuff. So what we're going to do this episode is actually add the part of the website that's going to be able to actually display, games and stuff like that. And so yeah, it's going to be a website, of course, that has web games on it. Okay. So there's many ways I guess you could use to display a game on your website, because there's different type of games. But the most popular type of game is going to be a Flash game. At least for web games and stuff like that, it's called Flash games. So what you need to do is actually figure out how to display these Flash games on your website. Okay. My favorite website here, Congregate, which has a bunch of online games, actually provides a part of their website where you can download the files for these games for free, and so you can add them to your website for free, really. So it's awesome. So we're gonna be doing that. So for example, if we go to one of these files here, run 3 right here, click that, it'll download the file. And as you can see, it downloads a .swf file, okay? And that's a type of Flash player file, okay? So yeah, it's a Flash file basically, okay? And you probably know what Flash player is if you use the interwebs, a lot. But it's pretty much just a plugin that you use to run applications and games and stuff like that. But anyway, so what we're gonna do is actually use this little project here on GitHub. It's called SWFObject, okay? And it's very useful for actually embedding Flash files like this one into your website, okay? It's not just for games, but games is something we could do with it, okay? So actually even Congregate, I believe, uses this same library to actually use games on their website or display games on their website. So it's pretty popular, and it's going to be very good that we figure out how to do this. Anyway, so to get started, what we're going to do here is go back actually and check out what routes we have so far. And we're going to need a route, or let's get rid of these old routes that we don't need from last episode actually. Like these, yeah, we don't need these anymore. I already deleted the pages if you noticed, but yeah, just get rid of that if you don't want them anymore like I do. So anyway, we already have this route here that's able to display some game page for us that we already made before, but it's kind of old now. We want to actually redo it. So let's just get rid of all this crap here, and we'll leave the /game route. We're just going to get rid of all the parameters because we don't really need them at this current moment. So yeah, we're going to leave off all the parameters, and then we're just going to design a web page that is able to display a Flash game. So we can just get a template going, and then we'll work with actually customizing how or what games we want to show on that template. You'll see in a second. So anyway, so what we're going to do here is create a game page. I believe I deleted it. Yeah, I did delete it. That's okay. So we're going to make a new one anyway. So new file, we'll call it game.ejs. Okay. Inside this, we're going to go ahead and include our, our partials. So include partials header. And let's also add our footer, of course. So include partials footer, just like that. And that should be good. So now let's actually test this out, make sure it works and all that fun stuff. So let's use NodeMon for this. Okay, cool. So there we go. So now let's actually go to the game page, just game, and there we go. So it actually works. Okay, cool. So now let's figure out how we can get this file here to display on the web page. Okay, so that's going to be the hard part. And so, well, it's not hard for me because I already know what to do, but for you, just follow along and I'll show you. So what we should do is go here to this project, and we're just going to download the project because we're downloading it because, oops, not 2 times. Yeah, we're downloading it because inside of here, this folder here, it has an example project that we can use to actually, and it has important JS files, JavaScript files that we can use to actually get this to work. That we need. So let's go ahead and open this now, and open this. Get rid of that. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so cool. So we'll copy all these. We'll move them into here, public. We're gonna make a subfolder here inside of here, so we can specify where all the special game files go that run the game. So we'll do SWF for that. So then we do that, and then we'll just move this inside of here. So anyway, let's look at one of these example pages here. So if we go to SWF and then we go to index, we can see an example here how they did it. So we'll just do we'll just do it like this. So we'll just copy this here, or no, copy this whole thing here. So this is going to import the actual file that we need to run this whole little library, whatever you want to call it, or file. And so this is going to be the thing that actually gets the game to run. So anyway, let's just copy this and put it down here at the bottom where scripts usually go. Okay, so we can customize this, and this first parameter here is going to be the actual file that we add, but we don't have any files here in our file structure yet. So let's actually make a new, we'll close this for now, or it doesn't matter actually. Let's just make a new file instead of public, and we'll call it games. And so inside of games, we'll put all of our SWF files, you know, our game files. So we'll go back here, game, oh, I accidentally made a file, not a folder. Not what I meant to do. So we'll delete that. And then we'll go back here, and we'll create a new folder, and we'll call it games. Okay, so like I said, everything will go in there. So if we go ahead and move this inside of here, boom. Okay, and we're going to rename it because it kind of has a crazy name right now. So we'll call it Run 3, pretty simple because that's the name of the game that we downloaded right here, wherever it is. I don't know, I lost it. Run 3 right there. Okay, so then we can go back here and we can specify where that file location is. So we can do /games because it already knows to look in the public folder. Of course, we already talked about that. So /games and then /run3.swf. And so this parameter here is actually going to be the parameter of the ID for the div that's going to hold our game right here. Just imagine there's a div here. So let's go here actually, and we'll copy that div here from the template. So Control-C to copy that, and we'll paste it right here. And so this div right here, like I said, is going to hold the actual game, okay? So it needs to match the ID. It already matches, but we're just going to rename it. So we'll just call it game, just to keep it simple, you know? So that's going to hold the game, like I said, 3 times now. And so what this is, is just the actual code that's going to be displayed if the game does not run, basically. Because sometimes you don't have the Flash Player plugin enabled whenever you're trying to run a Flash Player plugin or game or whatever. So it's going to ask you to actually enable it, and this is exactly what this can do, or it's going to show you how to download it. And yeah, it's pretty cool. But anyway, it's just going to help you out if you don't have the plugin enabled, okay? So anyway, and so the next 2 things is going to be your width here and then your height, okay? And the last thing is going to be your version, but we can just leave it as 9.0. And yeah, so this is just express install, and this is just a cool thing that allows the user to have the plugin, I think, install it on their system real quick. But anyway, just leave it how it is. But we actually want to tell it where the location is, so we could do SWF/express install because it's right here, as you can see. You can leave the dimensions for now, width and height, like I said. But then also we have the source here, which is actually going to be the game or the JS file that's going to run all of this here. It's going to be the magical part. So we actually need to specify a correct location for this. So we'll do /SWF/ and that will be exactly where it is, okay? So that's pretty simple. So let's actually try running all this. I know there's a lot, but pretty simple stuff. So let's reload here. So it says get Adobe Flash Player, and that's because we don't have it enabled right now. So we can just click this, and now it's going to ask us to enable the Flash Player. So we can just allow, and now the game is going to be able to run here. It should run at least. There we go. So now it's running. That's pretty cool. But as you can see, it's pretty small. So a trick that I like to use is actually go back here, and it tells you the exact width and height that you should use for the game with this embed here. But we're not using embeds, of course. We're just using the actual, the real plugin that actually lets this work. So anyway, what I mean is just copy or just remember these 2 dimensions here. So we'll just go. So we'll just copy this with our brains, 800 by 600. Okay, and then we'll go back here. And then we'll say 800 by 600, just like that, okay? So that will fix the dimensions for us. And then we go back and reload, and now it displays the game, okay? And there's going to be a little error thing here because Run 3 doesn't work on Chrome for some reason. So we can try a different game if you want to. So we'll just go back here, and we'll try something else, really. We'll sort by rating, so we'll show the most popular games. Alright, so Learn to Fly 2, that's a classic. So we'll copy that one, or download it, I mean. Let's copy this with our brains, you know, 640 by 480. So we'll go back here and change it. 640 by 480. Okay, cool. So that will change the dimensions for us. So let's go here and add this file here. We'll name it Learn to Fly 2, just like that. Then we'll go back here and we'll change the name of the file because we added a file here, as you can see. Learn to Fly 2, just like that. So now we should be able to go back and reload. And now it does the game Learn to Fly 2. So that's really cool, as you can see. I hope you find that cool too. because now we can successfully add any game from here onto our actual website, and people can play games, and that's a really cool feature. But if you think about it, this is the only game they can play at the moment, because if they go to /game, it's only enabling them to play this game. We didn't specify any parameters that will, like for example, like this, where we had before, that allows them to choose what game they want to play, right? So we should probably do something like that, right? We should allow the user to actually choose what game they want to actually play, right? So what we should do is go back here to games, where it lists all the games, right? We should make it so that it displays all of the games that we have on our website, and then when they click play game, it takes them to that game, and then it loads in the game file for that specific game that you just clicked on to play, and then it loads in, and then you can play the game like that, okay? So I know that was a lot, but it's better to show you, of course. So what we're going to do here is actually, well, let's go back here so we can see what we're working with. So what we need to do is actually change this, okay, to actually display some game data that we want to display. So what I mean is, let's go back here to our app.js, and we'll change these objects here to actually display stuff that we actually could use. So for example, let's get rid of these here, because we only have one game right now, right? So this one object per game. So the first game is going to be Learn to Fly 2, Learn to Fly 2, okay? And we'll capitalize this, make it look nice. And this, the creator is going to be, let's go ahead and check here. Let's see here. Lightbringer 777, okay? So we'll go ahead and add that, Lightbringer 777, just like that. And let's actually add some more information so the page can use it, because of course, if you think about it, we're also going to need to pass more information like the width and height of the game, because every game has a different width and height. So we're going to need to extract that from this little mini database and then send it and stuff like that. You'll see with our route parameters and all that magical stuff that we did before. So anyway, so what we're going to do here is add those different parameters. So we'll do width, and we'll say 640, or yeah, 640, and then the height should be by 480. Let's check here. 640 by 40, perfect, okay. And yeah, so also we're going to need to specify the file location like we said, because of course we're going to make it dynamic where it shows a different file for whatever game we're playing, of course. So you'll see in a second if you don't know what I mean. So we'll just do file name like that, and then we'll have the actual file name here, so learn to fly 2.swf, okay. So that's pretty cool, and that will be it for this first game, okay. So if we go back here to you know, our list page, let's see what happens. So now it shows Learn to Fly 2, game created by Lightbringer 777. Awesome, so that works, right? But if we click play game, it's not going to take us to the actual game, okay? It's still going to run this old route, right, where it says /game and then the name of the game / the creator of the game, okay? So we're going to have to change this and update it to make it nicer. So if we go back to the list page here, let's change the URL to actually send data that we need to send, okay? And basically we're going to send all of this data here, okay? So we need to send all of this data to our game page so that we can use it to customize the page for whatever game we're trying to play, right? So what we need to do then is specify here all the route parameters that we can accept, okay? So we could do title, we could do creator, we could do width, we could do height, and then we could do file name, okay? Let's actually add one more here. This is going to be called thumbnail file, okay? And this is going to be the actual picture that is displayed right here, okay? So each game is going to have a picture saved with it, and that's going to be pretty cool. So, excuse me. So let's actually find a picture for this. So if we go here to Google Images, of course, we can find something to use. So we can use this one here, so we'll just download this. And then let's actually move it to our file structure here. And we'll save in a sub file here inside of our game folder, or subfolder, I mean. So we'll call it, we'll just call it thumbnails, because that's what we called it inside of our little object. So thumbnails, okay, and this is going to hold all of our game thumbnails for all of our games, right? So now let's go back here and let's specify what the game thumbnail is. So we'll just specify the file name, of course. So learn to fly 2 and then .jpg. So that's how we do that, okay? So now let's pass that one in there also, so we can allow that to be passed as a route parameter. Okay, so now let's go back here and go back to our list page here, right? And so now we can change this route right here that we're specifying whenever they click play to match this route here, okay? Obviously, right? So we can just go ahead and copy this really. We'll just copy that. We'll do this. So now what we're going to do is change all the information inside of here, of course. So what we can do here is do that, And so we could do game list, and then whatever one we're on, dot title, okay? So that will provide the title for that one. And then we could just go down the line and do the same thing over and over and over again. So this will be the creator. So basically what's happening is these this object here is being sent to the games list page, of course, which is going to be this one here. And then we can use that object, we can grab the variables inside of that object, the individual variables here, to actually specify the route and all that fun stuff, okay? So anyway, and actually if you think about it, we don't actually need to add thumbnail file to this route here, because we're not going to be sending the picture over to the game page, right? We don't need to send the thumbnail over here, right? So we can actually use it right here though, right here. So we're going to use game list I, and so we're grabbing, you know, the data from this object here, and we're going to grab thumbnail file, okay? So right here, so thumbnail file, just like that. And then we should be able to go back here and check and see if that worked. So if we reload here, oh, we get an error. Let's see. Game list is not defined. Okay, so let's go back and see what the problem is. Oh, it's games list, plural. Games list. Okay, that's fine. So we'll just change that. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's try reloading here. And now it does not show the image for some reason. Let's try and figure that out. Well, what we're doing here is we're going to images / and then the image name, but that's not correct because it's not stored in images. These are stored in images, right? So we need to go to /games /thumbnails and then there. So we'll do like this /games /thumbnails, because that's where the image is stored, not in the actual images folder, right? So if we reload here, now it shows the actual image. That's really cool. So yeah, that's how you do that. So now let's actually finish. If we go back here, if you click this right, it's actually not going to send it to the right thing anymore. It's actually not going to send it totally yet because we didn't finish it right. So anyway, let's just send the rest of the data with the route. So we'll do right here. We'll just copy this right here. So we'll send over the height also, just like that. And then we'll send over the file name. Oh wait, I never specified the width. There we go. Okay, we'll copy that. And that should be the file name, so file name, just like that. And that should complete it basically. So what it's going to do is take every variable from that object that we sent over from right here, and then it's going to actually send the values of those variables except for thumbnail file into this link here. So when we click the link, it should take us to this route right here, okay, right here. And since we're not sending thumbnail file, we'll just get rid of it right here, of course. Oops. Right there. There we go. So anyway, let's go back here. We should be able to reload. So now when we load here and we click play game, it takes us to the actual game. So that works. Awesome, right? That's pretty cool, right? But if you know, notice something, if we go back here to the game file, we're still using the static, you know, values, right? It's not going to change depending on what game they want to play. So let me show you an example. Let's go back and add another game to our database little thingy right here. So we'll add the run3 game that we also added. So if we go back here and add run3 like this, so title run3, just like that, creator, and we'll look up all that data. Let's see here. Run3 by player 03. Okay, interesting. Okay, and then we'll do the width. Let's see what the width is. I think it's 800 by 600, correct? That is correct, of course, because I'm a genius. And then height, 600, and then we want the file name. As you can see up here, it's run3 to SWF. Okay, and then we want the thumbnail file. And that's going to be, we don't have one yet for run3, so we'll add that. There we go, so we'll just take one of these here. That looks kind of cool, so we'll just take that, save image as, then we'll move it into the thumbnails folder, and we'll just reload it to run3. Okay, so it'll be run3.jpg, just like that. So then we'll go back here, reload, or no, we'll go here, reload, and now it shows run3, and it shows the other game too. So it shows both games perfectly awesome. And yeah, so now we can click play game, and it'll send all of the data, like the game, /game, and then the name of the game, the person who created the game, the width and height, and then the actual file name. Okay, but as you can see, it's still showing the learn to fly game, right? So what we need to do is actually change it to take the values sent over from here and send them over to the game file here, so we can use them and plug them in here like we did with the list page basically, okay? So what we're going to do is just render the page, of course, but we're going to send over the variables individually like this. So we can do title, and then we'll do rec/params title, just like that, because of course when we run this, it's going to take whatever was passed in here as the parameter, right? So now it's going to send that parameter through here to game, okay? So what we can do now is go back here and do, or back here actually to game page, and then we could do something like this. So we could have h1 here, and we could say game, and we could put the game here. What was it passed as? Just title by itself, right? And then we could do that, and that should display title correctly if we do that. So we go back here, we click this, now it says game learn to fly 2, so that's cool. So let's test it out with run 3, and it shows run 3 because of course it's taking it from here and displaying it here. So that's really cool. As you can see, it's very dynamic, so that's very magical. So now let's do that for the rest of the variables that we have stored up here or sent up here. So we do creator rec params creator, then we'll do width rec params width, then we'll do height rec params height, then we'll do file name rec params file name. So what this is going to do, of course, is take all of the route parameters and send them over to the game page, okay? Excuse me. And then we can go over here and actually use the route parameters that we just sent over. So we could do like this. So width, we can go here. We could do, I meant to, oops, not like that. We could do like this, height, just like that. And then we could also specify, of course, we need to specify the name of the game, or the game file, I mean. So we could do file name, and that should add that. Then what else do we need? So we also have the creator, so we could add this here too. Let's do an h2 tag. Created by creator, just like that. Sorry about my voice if it sounds weird, I don't know if it does, but anyway. Now we can go back here, reload, and now it customizes the page for us. So game run 3 created by player 03, and it's showing the actual run 3 game. Of course it's jacked up, but it still shows it, so that means it worked. So if you learn to fly 2, it also shows learn to fly 2, but the size, the width and height is also different, so that means that also worked. So basically what we achieved here is actually very awesome, because we were successfully able to take data from our little storage here and send it over to this list page here, where it's going to display all of the games, and then it's going to take that data whenever you click the play game link and send it over like this into a route, and then this route here will capture that and then send all that data that you just sent to the game page, and then it'll render all of that data customized basically. And it's all just very magical and dynamic, and I hope you understand it. So, and if you don't understand it, of course, if there's something you don't understand, you can always leave a comment, because I know I went kind of fast this episode, but you should have a fundamental understanding at this point. It's pretty simple. But anyway, so one more thing I want to do before we leave is actually fix this, because as you can see, the sizing is different. So let's make sure the size is the same for each card or whatever. So let's go back here, and let's go to a list, of course, because that's where it's being listed. And let's change that here. So we don't need this alt, so that's useless. So we could do width, style. Then we do, or the width is actually the same already. They have the same width, it looks like. So let's change the height. So we'll do height, and then we'll set it to 180 pixels, just like that, okay? And that should give them all the same height, and it does. So that's awesome. So that worked, and there we go. So that's how we add games. So anyway, before I go, I actually just we'll add one more game, okay? So before I go, let's just add one more game just to get, some practice down, So we'll just do continuity. That's a fun game, so let's just add that. So we'll move this over here. Once it's done downloading, come on. Keep. Okay, then we'll move it here. Like this. Games. Okay, we'll call it continuity, just like that. Nailed it. And then I'll look up the thumbnail for it. Okay, I'll just copy or download one of these files here, and I'll move it over. Thumbnails. I'll just call it booty because I'm lazy, so booty. Anyway, so let's go back here and add it to our little database that we have here. It's not really a database, but it kind of is because we're storing data technically. So anyway, we'll just do title, continuity, just like that. Hopefully I spelled that correctly. I think I did. And let's look up the creator. Let's go back here. It's by Glimmager, just like that. Looks like width and height 640 by 480. Okay, that's very common. Okay, and then we want the file name. Continuity SWF thumbnail file. We called it booty, of course. So booty, what was it? PNG. Okay, yeah, it's a PNG. So make sure you specify PNG right there. And now that's all we need to do to add a game. So if we go back here, we can reload. Oh, it already reloaded for us. And now we can see the third game has been added. So if we click play game, and now there we go. We have the third game, and that displayed perfectly. And yeah, so hopefully you like that. I hope you like this episode. I worked hard to actually make this for you guys. So if you like this episode, leave a like. And if you have any questions, of course, leave a comment in the comment section. And also, we have a Discord in the description where you can join that. There's a link there. You can join it, hang out with us, whatever you want to do, ask questions, anything. And also, we have a link here in the description also for all of the code from today's episode. So make sure you check that out for save it for future reference, anything you want to do. And so yeah, if you liked the video, leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, and peace.